Hey, what's up, everybody? Pastor Mike with another golden word nugget for you. Thanks for joining me. It is hard to believe that just a month ago, we were anticipating the big day of, Christmas Eve, then that big day of Christmas, and then after that, New Year's Eve, and then New Year's Day. Man, it's hard to believe that we are halfway through the first month of the new year. It is incredible how time is just moving on. It could be this awkward time of year where, the big events are gone. I mean, if you're a college football fan like me, the national championship, that team, it's been decided, and we've moved on. And now halfway through the first month of the new year. It's crazy. But here's the awkward time, I call it, because it's the time that I believe that we've got to refocus then. We got to focus on something. And I wanted to talk about this week, so be sure to join me for the rest of the week. We'll chat about this, because now we talk about focus, we're talking about priority. I know if you're like me, you've probably got a half dozen things that are demanding your time, your attention, or whatever. And it's like, okay, now how do we handle all of this stuff? We'll take on the same trends and the things we did last year. We halfway do things and nothing is really done to a perfection. So I think about this time of the year, we talk about now we need to get our focus back, right? We've settled in, those holidays and events are over with. Now let's get our focus back. And so here's the deal with this. How do we do that? We prioritize those things that are important. Priority would be defined as something that's high in rank or position or privilege or something like that. But simply put, it's those things that are most important in your life. And we want to talk about that for a minute. What are those things that are most important in your life? Those are the things that you've got a rank 1 to 6 or 1 to 12 or whatever it is. And the most important thing, it needs to be higher in rank. It needs to be taken care of no matter how much the other things are calling our name. We've got to take care of those things. It was interesting. I wanted to share a little story that Henry Ford had talked about. And believe me, even Henry Ford and other people, all of us are in the same bag. We have issues, we have situations, and we need to focus on some things. But he was talking about how, he was out of focus and how he got himself back into focus. And I just wanted to share a little bit of this. He says a weakness of all human beings is trying to do too many things at once. He said it scatters effort, destroys direction, it makes for haste, and haste makes waste. Man, I like that. So he says we do things all the wrong way, possibly before we can come up with the right one. Then we think it was the best way because it works, and it was the only way that was left that we could see. He goes on to say, now, every now and then, he'd wake up in the morning, headed toward that finality with a dozen things he wanted to do. He says he knew he couldn't do them all at once. Then somebody asked him about, well, what do you do to take care of this? And he says, well, he'd get out and trot around his house. And he says, while running off that excess energy that wants to do everything, he says, and then his mind clears and he could see what can be done and what needs to be done and what should be done first. Man, I'm telling you, it's kind of like we need to think like Henry Ford was thinking on this one. We've got to find a way to clear our minds, a healthy way to clear our minds and spirit so we can think. Henry Ford says, well, he took a jog around his house, and then his mind cleared and he was able to think of prioritize those things that need to be done for the day or the month or whatever it is. And so I'm telling you, I think it is a good lesson for us that whatever it takes, that we can clear our mind. I like to take a country ride sometime. and I can clear my mind up. Well, whatever yours is, it is imperative that we spend that time and getting our minds cleared up so we can prioritize those things that are most important in our life. I'm not sure where you stand with any New Year's resolutions or things that you set out to do, what your vision board is like, but this is this time between the middle of the first month of the year that we can think about these things, and we're going to stay on track. If we just put a little time today and getting our focus back, a little time tomorrow and getting our focus back, man, I'm telling you, and we do just a little every day, there's no telling where we're going to be 3 months from now. There's no telling. So what I'm telling you today is get your mind clear, get where you can just focus on some things, whatever it takes to get your mind clear. I'm working with you today, and I'm believing with you today. We're going to do this day together today, and we're going to see some things that it was left undone, that we wasn't able to get accomplished in 2022, but 2023 is going to be our year. The old saying is insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. We're not insane. We're not going to do the same thing and expect a different outcome. We're going to do something different. What are we going to do? We're going to prioritize our time. We're going to focus in on those things that are most important. We spend time thinking about those things that are most important, and we're going to put our focus and attention on those things. And one by one, we're going to take care of those things. And man, we're going to see some fruit from our labor. I believe it for you today. Hey, you think on that today, and we'll do it again soon.